Hey, it's Dad. How's it going out there? Dad reflects on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes 12 through 22. My second reflections video on my YouTube channel, Dad Watches Horror Movies. If you haven't subscribed to it, please do. It's on YouTube. This is my channel. You can see my reflection on my channel. And now it disappeared and now it comes back. Wow, amazing. We are going to reflect on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes 12 through 22. My first reflections video was episodes 1 through 11. We do this in 11s, not in 10s. So, what better way to continue a reflection and start anew with a brand new reflection video than doing it in front of the lake? That is right. Dad reflects on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes 12 through 22, just in case you didn't know that already. Yo, it's Dad! And we're back with another reflections video, the second reflections video. Dad reflects on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes 12 through 22. We do this thing in 11s, not 10s. 11 is a special lucky number. Why do things that other people do? We do 11 episodes, not 10. We celebrate 11. So, second group of Dad Watches Horror Movies. We can even say this is the second season, but I'm not even going by seasons. We just go by episodes. Episodes all along, no seasons. I do a reflection video off of every 11 episodes done. And what a different atmosphere. I'm by the lake with snowy mountains in the background. Total opposite of the dark, gloomy videos that I do. Because, this is a reflections video. Let's reflect on the past. Let's celebrate the past of Dad Watches Horror Movies. And the thing is, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have support from my subscribers on YouTube and my followers on Instagram. I like doing this for fun. This is a side gig for me. And it's fun. I appreciate all the support. I also want to give a shout out to my boy Kenny, aka K De Niro, for jumping on this wagon with me and doing Dad and De Niro discussions. We added that during this reflection period. D3, Dad and De Niro discussions, where we discuss horror movies. We watch a horror movie and we just discuss it live on Instagram. And then we post the video later. You get them on YouTube. You get them on my IGTV on Instagram. But this is a reflections video on my Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes. Maybe sometime soon I'll get Kenny on and we'll do a reflections video of our D3s. But right now, reflections on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes 12 through 22 in front of a lake, and it's snowy. Well, it's not snowing, but it's snowy in the background with snowy mountains. Let's do this. Thanks for joining. Subscribe. Let's start this thing off with episode 12. Dad Watches Dog Soldiers. It's Dad, and I'm back with another Dad Watches Horror Movies episode. Tonight, Dad watches Dog Soldiers. Now, the beginning of this episode, it looks like I'm driving a Power Wheel to my front door. And as I've said before, I like to try to do a different intro for every single Dad Watches Horror Movies. Kind of like The Simpsons, when they're all running to the couch and it's different every episode. They've been doing this forever. But I'm already running out of ideas, but I'll continue to keep them coming. But this one, I decided to pretend I'm riding up on my kid's Power Wheel. It's a Jeep Wrangler Power Wheel. They grew out of it. It was too small for them. And the funny thing is, I sold that thing the next day. And I was like, I got to get something out of this. I got to. And I was like, perfect. Let's ride the Power Wheel up to the front door. And and get the episode done. So that's how that came about. Dog Soldiers, though. Why did I choose Dog Soldiers? I've seen it before. It's one of my favorite werewolf movies. It might arguably be my... No, sorry. American Werewolf in London is my favorite. But Dog Soldiers is a very underrated horror movie. It's foreign, I believe. I'm going to go right and say this right now. I don't do much research about the movies. I just go off the top of my head, and that's the thing about Dad Watches Horror Movies is, I just do it. And you know what? And I have to just do it. I don't have time to research and, plan out or even write out my script. Just do it off the top of my head as I'm doing right now. I might stumble my words. I don't care. This is real life. You get real life videos. And that's the deal. It's been tough out there. It's tough out there for everyone, with COVID-19 and the state of the world. And it's just rough just going through life right now for everyone. And I feel for everyone. And and I try to get these things out there as best I can. I got my kids stuck at home, doing school from home. I'm working. My wife's working still. We're trying to push through this like everybody else. And I wish everybody the best of times. Anyway, getting sidetracked. So, Dog Soldiers, I watched this first in college. And I just watched it on a whim. And I think this is great. And it was fun to rewatch this thing again. And it's always kind of tough for me to get some commentary going and react to movies that are serious, and don't really have many flaws. Horror movies, they're known for having tons of flaws. Dog Soldiers really doesn't. It takes itself very seriously, and in turn, it is serious, and they do a good job at it. Excellent gore, beautiful kills, beautiful acting all around. I love the ending, and it was just a smart werewolf movie. It took everything into aspect, what the hell does that mean? See, I'm doing this top of my dome, and I'm not doing any edits. So, but that one was fun. That one was fun to rewatch and to rehash. Like I said before, it's really tough to react to serious horror movies. But I did kind of stick with that Event Horizon type deal because it was the same actor. I forgot his name. So I threw some Event Horizon puns in there, which were kind of nice. So, but this one was good, and it was a good start to the second chapter of Dad Watches Horror Movies. Anything else to say about that? No. So let's move on to episode 13. It's Dad, and I'm back with another Dad Watches Horror Movies. This time, I am watching The Mausoleum. Dad Watches Mausoleum, episode 13. As you see, I changed the angle. You can see my face a little bit better. The sun's not behind me, so you don't get the rays of sun. So, this is a perfect example of how I just go off the top of my dome and do if you don't know, dome head, off the top of my head and just do something. And I was actually, this was all done before COVID. I was actually with my family, and we were playing some miniature golf at this place called the Lost World, and they have an indoor blacklight miniature golf. And so we were doing that, and there was no one in there. We were the only ones in there. So, I decided, how about we do an intro for Dad Watches Horror Movies here and pretend I'm getting chased by evil dinosaurs or something. So I ended up doing that. And then I ended up opening the door to get out of this place. And when you open the door, you go there's an arcade there. So, but what I did was I opened the door and I made it as I'm opening the door into my house. So, just easy fading camera work, easy to do. Like I said, it's simple. I'm keeping this simple. I'm an amateur. I'm not going to get into crazy video editing with Adobe Premiere and all that. That's the thing I want to stress here is that I'm not trying to be professional. I'm trying to do quick and easy and fast and do this and have fun. And that's going to be the charm of this, is that it's just done on my iPhone, which I'm holding right now, and done in creative ways. You like a found footage almost, you know what I mean? even though I don't care for found footage horror movies at all. I'm going to do it. That's how I do my Dad Watches Horror Movies, as more of a found footage thing. You're running into my house in some weird ways, and then you're sitting on the couch with me watching the movie while I'm recording the screen. So not using any fancy equipment, getting sidetracked again. But anyway, it was good, and it was good. I had my wife, you can see at the end of me running and opening the door, you can see my wife standing there, and she's going with like a scared face. That was all improv. She actually got in the way. I told her not to get in the way, and me running through that door was all improv as well. I wasn't going to run through the door, and then all of a sudden, while I was doing the take, I decided to run through the door and then make a fade in. And then she was right there, and she improv'd it perfectly. So, you know, things happen the way they happen, and that's how it works sometimes. That's how we got to do this. You know, and I'm going to stress it even more. I want to do this on a whim. It's the easiest way for me. I don't have much time. Man, I had to come out here while my kids are doing homework, and they need help with homework, and I was going, can you guys just give me like maybe a half hour to an hour to do a reflection video? And they're like, okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. So anyway, Mausoleum, okay? Lots of nudity in this movie. The main character, I forgot her name already, it doesn't matter. She's topless a lot. She's very hot. She tries to seduce so many people. This movie was a little confusing in the motive of this woman who was possessed. And sometimes she would have sex with somebody and kill them. Other times she wouldn't. Or then she would just get angry and kill somebody. So, but what I really liked and the connection I really made, there was one, I think she was the housekeeper. And I noticed that she was the same lady in Friday who was a Jehovah's Witness knocking on Ice Cube's door. So, are you ready for Jehovah's return? Because if you're not, and then Ice Cube slammed the door in her face, that's the same girl who's the housekeeper of this house. And what surprised me about Mausoleum is they actually had a character who was real, would like respond. She responded so real to a threat. So like normally in horror movies, you know, something scary happens or crazy happens and they go investigate. Or they run into a dead end. Or they go the wrong way. Or they trip and fall, you know, and they get caught. This lady goes, she's about to leave, and then she hears something upstairs. So she goes upstairs. She sees all this green light coming out of the room and these weird noises. And I'm like, in my head, I have never seen this movie. In my head, I'm like, she's going to go in there and this weird lady who's possessed is going to kill her. And she opens the door, creaks open, and she goes, no way. She's like, ain't no more grieving. I'm leaving. And she runs down the stairs, runs out the door, and out and gone. And she's gone from the movie. You know, you don't find the real smart people, like supposed victims in these movies. But she was the smart one, and she ran out, and I got a kick out of it. It was perfect. That was my highlight of this movie. Other than that, I wasn't a big fan of Mausoleum. So maybe if I had to give it out of 5-star rating, I'd probably give it a 2.5, maybe even a 2. So Dog Soldiers, I'd give about a 3.5. I didn't mention that. So anyway, let's move on. Stay safe, stay inside, and watch horror movies with Dad. I'm staying in, you stay in, we'll all stay in, and we'll watch horror movies together. All right, we're gonna watch Madman. Dad Watches Madman, episode 14. I love this movie. So, but let's talk about the intro. So this is kind of right around where things were starting to fall apart a little bit in 2020. COVID wasn't strong in America yet, but this is when we had all those power outages in California. I live in California, I don't even know if anyone knows that, but I'm in California, and this is where we had all those rolling blackouts, those rolling power outages for PG&E because they were because of the bad weather. They were scared that if power lines went down, they'd start fires and things like that. So they would do rolling blackouts during times of really windy and dangerous weather. So, and I live up in the hills, And so we'd always get blackouts. Anyway, but this was during that toilet paper craze. And everyone was buying toilet paper, which I don't understand why. I really don't. But the thing is, I had so this one was kind of making fun of that situation. I had toilet paper already in the house. This was all staged. I put it in the back seat of my car. And then I started recording, driving like I'm going to my house to go watch a horror movie. And then I get out, I open the back and grab my essentials, my toilet paper, grab it, go into the house. And then we're watching Mad Men. So no, there's no subliminal hits here of watching Mad Men during the situation. It was just a movie I wanted to watch. And this is straight hack job of Friday the 13th. Okay? Straight posing job, but beautiful job. About a axe murderer, weird guy who lives in the sticks during summer camp. Even summer camp, it's not a summer camp. What is it? It's like a recovery camp or something. I don't know. I don't remember. That's a different movie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I love Mad Men. It is exactly the type of 80s movie that I love, to where it's cheesy, it's got some dumb acting, it's got some stupid scenes, but it just works. And oh man, especially that scene in the hot tub with the guy and the girl, and they're going around in circles together, dancing with the music and everything. So good. But then Madman, was it Madman Mars? He walks around with his feet. You always see his feet and and his face, and he's always grunting. It's good. And then this is probably my highest viewed video of episodes 12 through 22. So this is my most popular one. I'm trying to figure out why. It's probably because maybe the movie, I'm thinking either the reason why I have high views on some movies is maybe because the movie has a cult following, or maybe it has something to do with me. Maybe my commentary was just on point. My reactions were on point. My riffing was on point. I don't know. Commentary, reactions, riffing, they're all synonyms for this. It's all the same thing. You riff on them, you react to them, you commentate. So, and I thought this is probably my favorite episode that I've done through episodes 12 through 22. I like this episode the best. But just at the end, that song, it's the best theme song I've ever heard. The Madman Mars theme song. Lore of the campfire, telling of his horror, lost in the woods with the madman and the stars. Don't laugh at the tale, heed if you call him. The legend is beware the Madman Mars. The legend is beware the Madman Mars. Don't. It's Dad, and I'm back with another episode of Dad Watches Horror Movies. This time around, Dad watches Grotesque. Hey, I'm in a different position now, closer to the water. Check this out. It's winter, by the way, and there's snow in the mountains, and it's not even that cold. Anyway, what are we on? Episode 15, Grotesque. This was the one where I was on my roof. I was stuck on my roof. All of a sudden, I was thinking where I was. It was blurry, so you couldn't tell. Like I was in a daze to where I didn't know where I was. And I ended up being on top of my roof. So I have a one-story house, and there's a way kind of above my garage. I'm in a cul-de-sac. I'm at the back unit of a cul-de-sac, and there's a way to get up on my garage because there's a hill coming down, and it's like 5 feet from my roof to the ground back there, so I'm able to jump up on my roof easily. But I got up there, and I decided to pretend not knowing where I was and go, what the hell, how did I get here? and I jump down and I run into the house. And so that was that one. So I'm still not running out of ideas. I still got the ideas coming. A little bit harder to come up with them though. So, like I said, this is not scripted. I just talk. So grotesque. I was very disappointed in this one. It has, I don't even remember names. I don't have something in front of me. It doesn't matter. And I'm squinting because the sun's in my eyes right here. It's bright out here. It's goddamn bright out here. Anyway, it's always sunny in Philadelphia quote right there. So it has, what's her name from Exorcist? The girl. Anyway, I don't have much to say about this one. It wasn't a fun watch. It's called Grotesque, and it's about this weird, I guess, man that's in a house that the parents are shunning from the world and keeping hidden in a room. And he's supposed to be all grotesque and weird looking, but you know, and he's an innocent guy. Just people are scared of him, but they show him, and you can just tell how fake the makeup is in this. You know, you can just tell it's pieces of rubber hanging off his face. It just didn't work for me. It was very poorly put together. There was even a scene where they had like some sort of, wasn't a lynch mob, but a mob looking for this guy out in the forest, and it literally lasted for like 10 minutes of them walking through the forest with a score in the background and then walking and walking. I'm like, come on, just get to it. And so of course I made commentary. Oh, my finger, darn it. I don't care. I'm not redoing this video. So, you know, that was, it was lame. I was disappointed with this one. I was, I don't really have anything else more to say about it, but at least we got an episode out of it. And this is, here's something. This is my most poorly designed thumbnail for the YouTube videos of My Dad Watches Horror Movies. If you look at all my thumbnails, I kind of like to put my face in the background and try to emulate the title of the movie with a font, and then put a scene from the movie, you know. And this one, I look at all of them, I scan through, you know, the playlist, and you just look at the video, you just look at the thumbnails, and this thumbnail is garbage. And you know what? What a better fitting thumbnail than for this garbage movie Grotesque, because it doesn't deserve a better thumbnail than that. So, and, you know, I have very unique opinions. I like being the black sheep of opinions when it comes to horror movies. I do bash horror movies a lot, but I also give praise. But my bashing is more in good fun. You know, I know these actors, directors, producers, writers, you know, all the crew, they try their hardest to do this stuff. And, you know, and for me to bash them, you know, it can be kind of rude, but, you know, it's a fun thing for me. I enjoy it, and I don't, nothing personal. You know, I'm doing this for fun. So, but anyway, Grotesque was garbage. So, let's move on. Hey, it's Dad. Here with another episode of Dad Watches Horror Movies. This time, Dad is watching The Mutilator. Episode 16. Dad watches Mutilator. This is another good movie. This probably has the best slasher kills in the 80s horror movie I've seen. It's called Fall Break, but it's also called Mutilator, and I love how happy-go-lucky the beginning of this movie is. They're driving to this beach house, and it's happy music. A fall break, fall break. It looks like the beginning to like a comedy, an 80s comedy, but it's not. It quickly turns into an excellent slasher, to where these kills are glorious. Can't get any better kills. The gore is good. These kills the practical effects are awesome. A great job done here. And I love a coastal setting. This has got a coastal setting. So my favorite landscapes are the seaside, coastline, beaches, stuff like that. So one time we'll do, maybe if I get to, episode 33, we can go do it on the California coast. So anyway, This is one of my intros to where I wasn't too. This was kind of a lame intro. I was playing golf with my kids' golf toys outside in the dark. That was kind of stupid. Looking back at that, I wasn't. Whatever. I got through it. Like I said, off the dome, quickly done, finished, boom, we're out. Because I don't have time to, sit there and script this thing out. I just do it. Whatever comes to my head. Before I watch these horror movies, I go, okay, let's go do something right now. Let's think. Okay, that's the idea. Let's go with it. And that's how it is. So, anyway, back to Mutilator. I gotta say one thing. There's just one actor in there. He's the one who gets killed in the garage. I think it's with the chainsaw or something. And his look on his face, his kill face, like, ah! He's like, ah! And he falls down. He gets best acting of getting killed I've ever seen. Lori Lampley, is that his name? Corey or Maury, I don't know, something like that. But this is the only movie he's ever been in. You go to the Rotten Tomatoes, or you go anywhere and look up this guy. He's only been in one movie, and that's The Mutilator. He's a one-hitter quitter, and he's a big one-hitter quitter. And I got to give him props. He went down like a champ, and he was awesome. So I would recommend The Mutilator to anyone who loves 80s horror, especially if you're into the different, unique type of kills, because this thing spares no expense on those beautiful practical effects. So, we'll look at the beam of light coming over my eye. That's kind of cool. Let's leave it like that. So, it's a reflections video, and we're reflecting on Dad Watches Horror Movies. See? Didn't even plan that. All right, let's move on. Hey, it's Dad. How you all doing out there? Crazy times out there. Be safe out there. Dad's watching Humanoids from the Deep. Episode 17. Dad watches Humanoids from the Deep. Man, I'm getting gray. Whatever. I'm a dad. That's what happens. This was the first time I've ever put my iPhone in water. So, but I had a protector for it, because when I went to Jamaica, I went to Jamaica and Mexico, I brought this thing so I can go in the water and do some video recording. But anyway, I put it on my phone. I went in my pool and came out of my pool to go watch a movie. And check this out, okay? No one knows this, all right? While I did that scene, I was naked. It's just so much easier and drier, because I was going to go straight into my house, and if I had swim shorts on or anything on, they would just drip all over my floor. If I'm naked, it doesn't drip that much. It's easier to clean. No one was home. No one can see in my backyard because I live kind of on a hill. So there you go. You get if you're still watching, you get to Dad Reflects on Dad Watches Horror Movies episodes. You find these things out. So yes, I was naked. So now you can picture me naked if you watch the video again. Maybe you might want to watch it even more, or probably not want to watch it at all because you're disgusted. But either way, I don't care. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get the inside scoop. Humanoids from the Deep, one of my favorite 80s horror movies. This thing goes nuts. It's very rapey. Very, very rapey. These sea monsters, raping girls, not good. A lot of scenes I couldn't show. This would only go around in the 80s. You can't make a movie like this now. But the design on these humanoids from the deep with their big long arms and their seaweed all over them, and the gore is just pure. It's cheesy. It's a coastal setting again. Like I said, I love coastal setting movies, especially horror movies. So, and this one just works for me. This is a straight horror movie, Dad. Horror movie. This is my type of horror movie right here. The last three, what is it? Madman, Mutilator, and Humanoids from the Deep. Watch all three of those movies, and you'll know what my favorite style of horror movie is by watching all three of those movies. 80s, cheese, but good kills, very thought out practical effects, and good scores. Okay, we need a good score if you want to come through horror movie dad. You need a good score. Okay, Humanoids from the Deep has a good score as well. So Mutilator doesn't really have a good score. It has that song, A Fall Break. But anyway, Humanoids from the Deep is not for everybody. And it does not sit well with the times we are in now. But if you watch it and realize when it was made, I think it's 1980 or 1981, and you realize that, you can realize how good of an 80s horror movie this really was. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. Let's move on. And I haven't been giving you star ratings for the other ones, but you know what? Let's just forget about it. I forgot which ones I gave star ratings on and which ones I didn't, so it's okay. You can tell how much I like it by the way I'm talking about it. So, next one. So I just noticed this. This does not have anything to do with Dad Watches Horror Movies, but look, there's a fire over there. See that? That is smoke, and that is a fire. Wow, it's crazy. It's snowing. Well, it's not snowing. There's snow on the ground, and there's a fire. That's insane. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know. On to the next episode. It's Dad, and we're about to watch Screamers. So I realized that I lied. I said that I haven't done daytime videos for Dad Watches Horror Movies. I was wrong. This episode, what episode are we on? Is it 18? I don't remember, but Dad Watches Screamers, I think it's episode 18. I started off during the daytime on my street, and then when I got into the house, it was nighttime. So I decided to do a switch, kind of do a fade while I'm in the house to dark. So that's what I did. And now look, I turned around, you can see the boat dock behind me, which is kind of cool. So with this one, Screamers, that's what I did. I did during the day, being confused that it's daytime, and then go inside and then be confused that it's night now. So that was kind of the deal with that. Screamers is another coastal one. I decided to go with this one because I think it was made by the same studio or same production company. I don't remember. But Screamers started off great in the caves with these weird monsters and things and slime. I was like, great, I just found a gem here, that I haven't seen before. And then the story moves on to where it's a bunch of convicts who fell into the water from their boat or whatever, and they ended up trying to survive on this weird, mysterious island with voodoo and fishmen and mad scientists and experiments, and then the city of Atlantis. How much crap can you fit into one thing? They put all that together. I was just so confused about what this movie wanted to be. I'm like, okay, are you a sea monster movie? Or are you a mad scientist movie trying to make something? Are you a movie about the city of Atlantis and gold underneath the sea? Are you about convicts trying to escape an island? And then there's voodoo on the island. Okay, so is this about voodoo now? So this movie had way too many themes. Like, pick something, stick with it, okay? Don't try to squeeze everything into one and make it seem like it's something like a million things, but it only comes down to one thing. So this movie really got away from itself, really got away from me. And you can kind of tell my frustration towards the end of the movie during this episode that I get kind of frustrated and say, okay, this is garbage. So I think it's called Island of the Fishmen. It's called originally in Europe, and then it came to they released it in America and the United States, and they called it Screamers. Which I don't understand why they changed the name, and I don't understand why they called it Screamers, because nothing screams in the movie. There's barely any screams. The fishmen don't scream, so I have no idea why it's called Screamers. Enlighten me if you know. I never looked it up. Like I said, I don't look up stuff, I just do it. Man, the sun's really on my chin, and look at this. Man, I'm getting old, but I'll still do these episodes. All right, let's move on. Hey, it's Dad, and I'm back again for another Dad Watches Horror Movies episode. Let's watch The House That Dripped Blood together. Episode 19. Dad Watches The House That Dripped Blood. The house never really dripped blood. So the name of this anthology type horror movie does not really go with what's going on. It's very formal. And what I realize is early 70s movies are very formal horror movies. You know, everyone's always dressed up. Like, there was one guy, he's an author and he's writing a book, and he's in his house, but he's dressed up in a nice sweater and slacks. I'm like, dude, wear pajamas. You know, why you gotta dress up in your house? So, anyway, this movie screams 70s. It's got the 70s style. A lot of Peter Cushing was in it. A lot of good noteworthy actors. So the movie took itself seriously, and it was serious. It was good for the 70s. You can tell it's early 70s horror because, you know, it's not that gory. There's not much nudity. It's where horror took itself very, very serious. Once the 80s hit, horror didn't take itself serious at all. But early 70s and 60s and earlier, horror movies, they took themselves very seriously. And this was a part of that. And it was kind of an anthology movie about, you know, the story of people that are renting this old house. And weird things happen to each person or each group of people. And then there's a detective inspector, by the way. Let's say the same thing twice. Who tries to figure out why these weird things are happening. And then we all see, you know, what happens at the end. But I won't spoil that. You can watch my episode of Dad Watches Horror Movies or just watch the movie. It's a decent 70s movie. So I keep looking over this way, if you've noticed, because I look over there to see if my kids are running down or not. So I'm thinking any moment they're about ready to come interrupt me. Anyway, I'm always looking over my shoulder now, especially as a dad with young kids. Always got to look over your shoulder for everything. You know, even when you're watching them 100% of the time, something bad happens. You know, it just comes with the territory. You know, I try to keep my kids as safe as possible, but also try to let them get out and do things and learn things on their own. And there's just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like as a parent you can never get it right. So it doesn't come easy. And I don't think there's not a book on how to parent. You know, it's sidetracked again. Anyway, I didn't talk about the intro for this one. What was the intro for this one? House That Drips Blood. What was it? I forgot. Oh. I forgot. What was the intro for... Wow. Perfect example of me being a dad and forgetting about things. Short-term memory's horrible. Got it. I remembered. Okay. I was sitting in my backyard with the cover on my pool. All right. And it's a solar cover. So the sun hits it and then it heats the pool. I ended up sitting there and I was just talking, you know, filming the pool with the cover on it. And I ended up throwing a ball from behind me, which you can't see. You can kind of see the camera shake, go like this. But I threw a ball in the air and it landed on the mat or on the solar cover. And I was supposed to pretend like I didn't know where that came from. Then run in the house and watch the movie. So that was that one. That was just off the dome too. Quick, easy one. Not a fan of that intro either. That one or the golf one. My favorite one though was, I think it was Madman, where I was in the miniature golf, the dark light or black light miniature golf place. That was probably my favorite one. Or the one where I was coming out of my swimming pool. That was good too. So, all right, let's move on. We're almost done here. Let's keep it going. Hey, it's Dad. And I'm back with another episode of Dad Watches Horror Movies. This time, Dad watches Contamination. Episode 20, Dad watches Contamination. This is one of my favorite intros. I got my kids to jump on their trampoline wearing their Halloween masks. They love those masks. They love to wear them. They're happy to be a part of them. This wasn't done, I think this was done. This took like 2 takes to do, maybe 3. So it wasn't a one take, a one-hit wonder like they did the first time. But this is the second episode where I had my kids involved. And I told them, I'm like, I want you guys just jumping up and down on the trampoline, making weird noises and doing weird movements. And that's what I did. And it was during Halloween, had some Halloween stuff set up, and I ran kind of past them. So let me interject for a second. We have the actor and actress of the weird jumpy people wearing masks on the trampoline. So we're going to get a reflection from them. So
weird jumpy people.
So we'll start with the oldest. So what do you think about that? What was going through your mind when you were doing that?
I'm going to get my daddy.
Yeah? What about you?
I was just going to jump around and say weird words.
Yeah? Was that it?
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to tell anybody about how you guys did that scene?
I was a person with the white mask.
Yeah.
I was the one who was jumping around on the floor.
All right. Anything else, or are we done with that one?
We're done with that one.
Okay. And the movie is Contamination. Alien ripoff, Italian horror, but great. Great about these pods or these eggs that burst open and spew out acid or some sort of gas that ends up melting your skin or making your torsos explode when you breathe them in, like spores. You breathe in these spores and they make your chest explode from the inside. That was cool. All those chest bursting scenes of torsos exploding and it being in slow motion. That was good. So the beginning of the movie was good. The middle, they started getting filler because, they didn't want to spend a lot of money. They wanted to make a big finale. And they did with that big alien. That thing was like 8 feet tall and like 8 feet wide. And the chest bursting scene at the end. And then the score. Goblin. Best score composers, horror movie score composers ever. Man, I wish they made more scores, even though they made a lot. But this one, at the end, that score kicks up. Oh, man, it makes it 100 times better. I'm being called. It makes it 100 times better. So, I got 2 more reflections to do. Let's see if I can get these in before my kids come running up. But anyway, Contamination, great movie. It is an alien poser, but I'd suggest to watch it if you can find it. Good one. Had a good time filming it. Had a good time watching this one too. So one of my better ones, I think, in these episodes. Let's move on. It's Dad, and I watch horror movies, and I'm gonna watch them with all of you. This time, Dad watches The Devil's Reign on Dad Watches Horror Movies. So now let's talk about episode 21, Dad Watches The Devil's Reign. And I have my helpful actor and actress that were a part of the introduction of this one. So we were actually out of town at our at my in-law or at my brother and sister-in-laws, their aunt and uncles.
My cousins.
And with their cousins, we're staying at their place up in the mountains. And we decided to do an intro with what? What did we have?
Laser tag.
So they were playing laser tag outside, and I got this random idea to where they would dress up with their laser tag and chase me into the house. So let's have them reflect on that. So go ahead.
It was crazy. It was very, very, very crazy. Well, we were like saying weird words and say ba 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 ba, all chasing Daddy into the house, and he was like, "Oh my God!"
What about you? What do you got to say?
It was so much fun. After we did this, me and one of my cousins were on the same team, and my brother and his other cousin were on a different team. We all had different colors, so after Daddy went inside, we started the game all over and started playing laser tag till he came out and said, "Okay."
Yeah.
It was fun.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. We tried to make them like alien robots.
Yeah.
So you can hear them saying we're here, and then they were chasing me.
No,
So.
we said we are coming to destroy you.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay, coming to destroy me. Okay, so that's cool. And so I'll have them stick around. We'll talk about the movie, The Devil's Reign. You guys can stick around, and I can call you back, or for the next one, because they're in the next video too. So I want them to commentate on that, but reflect on that. But this one, The Devil's Reign, I've never seen a better conclusion of a horror movie. It was like 20 to 30 minutes long of just people melting and just continuous melting. It was an epic conclusion. I loved it. They're gonna go jump on the swing right now, and I'll have them come back and talk about the last episode. But it was epic, and this one actually was my favorite introduction out of all of them. I think I said that for another one, didn't I? I don't know, but if I did, I would. Those ones are wrong. This is my favorite one because I love the laser tag and me trying to figure out what the heck those things were, and then they start running after me. So the kids did a good job. I try to incorporate them as best I can, and right. But Devil's Reign. All I gotta say is the conclusion of that movie, the climax is just so good, and it just doesn't end. It's like 20 minutes, like 15 minutes go by, then 20 minutes go by, and 25 minutes, and it's raining and people are melting. And it's good. It was good. All right, so let's get to our last episode. It's Dad. And I'm back again for another Dad Watches Horror Movies episode. This time around, Dad watches Blood Diner. All right, episode 22. Dad watches. What did we watch?
I don't know. I didn't know.
What did I watch
The house?
for episode 22? Blood Diner. Dad watches Blood Diner. So these two were a part of the introduction again. So I'll have them talk about it. Do you guys remember it? Remember doing it?
Yeah.
This one took like a few takes to do.
Because he kept trying to push us on the swing. He tried to get us to go high enough.
Right. I tried to get him to go high, and then I ran back.
And
But
then we stopped swinging, so he had to run back, push us again,
and then do the recording, right? So we did this on the side of my house. We have a tree on the back corner of our yard that has a little double swing on it. It's like a disc. And so I got them both on it, and we had these brand new masks, right? Where were the masks?
They're for Halloween. One was like stone petrified, and the other one was a jack-o'-lantern.
And what did the masks do?
Oh, the mask glue up.
They lit up. What lit up on the masks?
The eyes. The eyes.
The eyes lit up, right? And you can't really see what type of masks they are because it's dark. But we made sure them to turn their lights on.
There was one that was light, and one that was a pumpkin.
Pumpkin face.
I was in the pumpkin. I had the stone petrified, and I couldn't see through it, so.
Yeah, it was all right. She was complaining she couldn't see through it. I was like, it's okay. We're just going to be on the swing. So I pushed them on the swing at night. That was the first time they were swinging at night, too, so they were kind of scared.
I was scared of being that lion.
Yeah.
Attack us.
Yeah, because we do have wildlife out where we live. But,
like a deer.
Yeah, but anyway, they were swinging. I pushed them on the swing on the side of the house and pretended there was weird things on the swing and then ran into the house. So is there anything else to say about that? You?
Well, on the swing, it was fun and scary at the same time.
Okay. Final words from you?
When Daddy ran into the house, I jumped off the swing and started running at JJ all over the place. We were chasing each other and then jumped back on the swing when Daddy came back. So he thought we were still swinging.
Oh, so you were supposed to stay on the swing and you got off the swing? Oh, you're getting yourself in trouble on a reflection video. All right, you guys can say bye and I'll continue talking about the episode.
Go back.
All right. So that was a last minute thing for me to do after I finished talking about episode 20. Since they were in the last 3 videos of introductions, I thought, hey, let's get a reaction from the kids. So there you go. Unscripted, unedited, off the dome. I need to shave, man. Look at this. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so this was episode 22. This was the last episode. Dad watches Blood Diner. And the same thing happened with my last episode before the first reflection. This entire movie was edited for copyright. So you can hear him playing in the background. It was edited for copyright. I was like, no! And what better way to end it on a copyright video? But the thing is, I'm not trying to take any credit to where credit's due at all. And I said this with my first reflection. I don't want to take credit. I don't want to, get royalties for anything like this. I want to get, if royalties ever come from any of this, I want it to be because of me and not because of the content that I use. And the content I use, I make sure if it's copywritten, these people get royalties for it. If royalties ever come through, they get the notoriety for it. It's already said in the video. It's called monetization. They for how many views they get on my video, if they have it copywritten or copywrote, I don't even know how to say it that way, but if it has a copyright, they get it. They get the credit for it, and it's good. And if they don't have monetization set up, this is which basically means that people can show videos or play music or whatever, and if it gets played on YouTube, YouTube recognizes what it's from and gives the royalties, if any, to the right people. So a lot of my videos have that, to where you hear the score in the background or some video scenes, and then if somebody watches my videos and it gets popular and ads, or someone clicks on an ad or something with it or whatever, the proper people get the money that they deserve. And I like actually kind of helping these people out, because these movies I'm watching, there are no millionaires doing this thing. Maybe there are. I'm sure there are, but some of them are just, small studios. And if they're big studios, normally they don't let you do stuff like this. And Blood Diner, I thought, was not going to be a problem like this, but I was not allowed to show any video of Blood Diner at all. I couldn't show any clips, so I blacked it out, and you can just hear. But the folks who own the copyrights for Blood Diner did monetize the I guess that's how you say monetize. They did monetize the audio, so audio credit goes towards them. So if any royalties come from YouTube with ads or whatever, the money goes directly to the people that own the copyright, and so that's how it should be. And I'm not trying to steal anyone's content, just trying to have a good time. And but it's funny because episode 11 was a Christmas horror story, and that was all blacked out for copyright. And then episode 22, the last episode of my reflection, was copywritten. And this time I decided to interject inside before and let you all know that, hey, you're going to be watching a black screen and only hearing my commentary and my reactions and hearing the movie, and then at the end you'll see my face again with the conclusion. So, but anyway, I try to stay away from movies like that. I didn't think Blood Diner was going to be like that, because it's a low-key, old-school movie, but apparently it's got a big cult following, and it's a crazy movie. I've never seen a movie with a beginning warning like that, and I can see why for the times, why they had that warning, because it's pretty brutal. I guess you could say it's more of a comedy, like a horror comedy than anything, but I can see how this can be, disturbing to people, because it's a lot of cannibalism and stuff like that, and the ending is just so weird. A lot of nudity. It would be, I say it would be considered NC-17, which I don't have that rating anymore, but back in the day, I bet it was. So, but anyway, I think that's it. I don't have anything else about it, but just that it's fun, and I'm glad I came a long way. So I'm glad I've gone this far, and I hope to keep going. I hope to get going all the way to episode 33. Let's get 11 more episodes in. I try to get in one episode a month, maybe more if I can. Sometimes it might take me longer than others to just get a video out there. But hey, I got a busy life. I'll get them in when I can. Don't worry. I appreciate everyone, subscribers, followers, people who comment, and I appreciate my boy Kenny for getting in on this with me and helping me advertise and getting on those D3s, the Dad and De Niro discussions. And if you're not, go check him out too, K De Niro at KDeniro1 on Instagram. And so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Dad Watches Horror Movies. I'm the only channel that's like that. You can even search Dad Watches Horror Movies on YouTube, and you'll find my channel directly. You can hit the bottom right corner of the screen. It has my face going like this with an orange background. Click that to subscribe. Also, check out my Instagram page at Horror Movie Dad. Go there, check out my content. I post, that's where I do my Dad and De Niro discussions. We do those live, and then I put them on IGTV, which is Instagram TV. I put them on there before they go onto YouTube. Eventually they go onto YouTube. But you want to see them first, you can get them live. We normally do it on 9 p.m. on a Friday night or a Sunday night, and normally announce them at least 4 to 5 days in advance that we're doing it. So we're supposed to be doing one this weekend, but we might push it back. Anyway, but you'll know if you follow me on Instagram at Horror Movie Dad, you will know when the next D3 is going to be, and I'll also keep you up to date on what's going on with my YouTube channel, when videos are coming, and a lot of other bonus content that I do on there. So different pictures and things like that that are related to horror movies. So anything else? I also do have a Letterboxd account. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, letterboxd.com. There's also an app for your phones. It's basically a movie database where you can write reviews and make your own lists and give star ratings. So I appreciate my followers on there too. I write tons of horror movie reviews on there. So any horror movie that I watch, I'll write a review on it. And sometimes I'm harsh, but I try to be funny about it. I want it to be entertaining. I want to be amusing. It's not to piss anybody off. So I try to have some fun with it. So anyway, once again, I appreciate all the support. It's been about 2 years. I don't know. I think my 2-year anniversary is coming up. We'll see with this, but it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it, and hopefully we can get to another reflections video. So I got to get to episode 33. So stay tuned for episode 23, which will be coming soon. And that's it. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you soon. And I will see you next time on Dad Reflects on Dad Watches Horror Movies.